So we got to talk about black liberals who are upset
Wokies.
about a young black teenager getting smoked
A 14-year-old Cyrus Carmack.
owner out in
Cyrus
Columbia, South
Carmack
Carolina.
Belton.
Chinese. So, boy. So we got to talk about black liberals who are upset about a young black teenager
in South Carolina, Columbia. Columbia, South Carolina.
Now, I'm going to
Columbia, South Carolina.
Asian gas store, convenience store owner out in Columbia, South Carolina. Now,
Yep.
I'm going to play a clip that is going to show you guys what happened for the most part, and reactions from the mother, from the family, and get into this because black people are upset, right? Black
The wokies, the illogical blacks, not all blacks, but the super emotive, the race idolaters, the super idolatrous blacks are livid, yes.
An Asian gas store, convenience store owner out in Columbia, South Carolina. Now,
the super wokies
that is going to show you guys what happened for the most part, and reactions from the mother, from the family, and get into this because black people are upset, right? Or black liberals are upset because they feel as if Rick Chow, the owner of this convenience store, was wrongfully found not guilty of murder. Okay, and again, I'm going to play a clip here explaining what happened, and then the reaction from the family, and then we're going to get into the boycott.
The cause for boycott
against Asian businesses by
not just his business, but all Chinese businesses, all Asian businesses, including Japanese, Korean, Malaysian, Cambodian, Bangladeshi, Nepali, yeah, Thai, crazy.
Found not guilty of murder
because of what Chow did, of what Rick Chow did.
What happened, and then the reaction from the family.
Insane.
And then we're going to get into the boycott that apparently is happening against Asian businesses by the black liberals who are upset about the outcome of this case. So without further ado, let's go ahead and roll the clip. Rick Chow was born in 1964 in Hong Kong.
Yeah, he's 61. He's 61. He's not 62 yet. But
Rick Chow was born in 1964 in Hong Kong. He went by the name Rick. At some point, Rick moved to Louisiana and went to college. He married a woman.
Yeah, this is a great channel. This Todd dude. He has a great channel. I've heard of Todd before.
Rick Chow.
The dude with the glasses.
This case. So without further ado, let's go ahead and roll the clip. Rick Chow was born in 1964 in Hong Kong. He went by the name Rick. At some point, Rick moved to Louisiana and went to college. He married a woman named Alice. The couple went on to have 2 sons, Andy and Kenny. After graduating, Rick worked as a professor of computer sciences at a college in South Carolina. His wife Alice was a CPA. Sometime in the early 2010s, Rick and Alice purchased a Shell gas station. Rick Chow was born in 1964 in Hong Kong. He went by the name Rick. At some point, Rick moved to Louisiana and went to college. He married a woman named
educated,
Alice.
intelligent
The couple
people.
went on to have 2 sons, Andy and Kenny. After graduating,
Big
Rick
ups.
worked as a professor of computer sciences
Big ups.
at a college in South Carolina. His wife Alice was a CPA.
Big ups.
Sometime in the early 2010s, Rick and Alice purchased a Shell gas station / convenience store at 7441 Park Lane Road in Columbia. They both worked in the store, and sometimes their son Andy helped them. The gas station was in an area that had a problematic level of crime. The police received hundreds of calls for service for the business over the course of a few years.
200
For
to
example,
be precise.
There were reports of shoplifting, larceny, vandalism, motor vehicle theft, assault, burglary, and robbery. Rick had a concealed carry permit and carried a Glock pistol chambered in .45 caliber ACP while working in the store. On May 4, 2015, Rick confronted a woman who picked up 2 cases of Bud Light
beer
and a package of boiled peanuts and left the store without
This is
paying.
true. I looked
Rick
all
and
of
the woman
this
struggled
up.
out
So
cases of Bud Light and a package of boiled peanuts and left the store without paying. Rick and the woman struggled outside the store. Cases of Bud Light and a package of boiled peanuts and left the store without paying. Rick
goofy.
and the woman struggled outside the store,
Yep.
and the woman threatened to shoot Rick.
Yes.
In response, he grabbed the beer and the woman's purse,
Yep.
which contained those peanuts.
He
When
took
the woman
the
entered her vehicle,
things back.
Rick produced his pistol and fired 6 times
Yep.
at the passenger side window.
Yes.
No one was injured, and no charges were filed against Rick.
It was
On October
self-defense.
12, 2018,
She threatened
a man
to
shoplifted
shoot
a
him.
$6
There was a reasonable fear of serious bodily harm or worse.
When the woman entered her
So
vehicle,
he was in the
Rick
right
produced his
to
pistol
shoot
and
into the
fired
car.
6 times at the
It is what it
passenger
is.
side window.
You can disagree with it, but he was legally justified in doing what he did. So
2 cases of convenience store at 7441 Park Lane Road in Columbia. They both worked in the store, and sometimes
there was a reasonable
The gas station was in an
fear
area
that
had a problematic level of crime.
he
The
would
police received hundreds of calls
end
for
up
service for the business
seriously
over the course of a few
bodily
years.
harmed
For
or
example, there were
deleted.
reports of
So
shoplifting,
he had to
larceny,
do what he had to
vandalism,
do
motor vehicle
to
theft,
preserve his
assault,
life
burglary,
logically.
and robbery. Rick had a concealed convenience store at 7441
The
Park
truth
Lane
is
Road
the
in
truth.
Columbia. They both worked in the store, and sometimes their son Andy helped them. The gas station was in an area that had a problematic level of crime. The police received hundreds of calls for service for the business over the course of a few years. For example, there were reports of shoplifting, larceny, vandalism, motor vehicle theft,
Unbelievable.
assault,
Detestable.
burglary, and robbery. Rick had a concealed carry permit and carried a Glock pistol chambered in .45 caliber ACP while working in the store. On May 4, 2015, Rick confronted a
Over
woman
11
who
years
picked up
ago.
2 cases of Bud Light and a package of boiled peanuts and left the store without paying. Rick and the woman struggled outside the store, and the woman threatened to shoot Rick.
Yep.
In response, he grabbed the beer and the woman's purse,
Yep.
which contained those peanuts. When the woman entered her vehicle, Rick produced his pistol and fired 6 times at the
Yep.
passenger side window.
All of this
No
is
one was
correct,
injured, and
accurate.
No charges were filed against Rick. On October 12, 2018, a man shoplifted a $6.49 can of oven cleaner.
Yep.
When Rick confronted him, the man assaulted him.
Physically, yep.
Rick produced his weapon and fired
Shot
twice
him
at
in the
man,
leg.
striking him in the leg.
Yep.
The shoplifter survived and later pleaded guilty to charges stemming from the incident.
Yes.
Rick was never charged. Now, Rick produced his pistol and fired 6 times.
The man who
The
assaulted
passenger side
Chow
window.
in 2018
No one
was
injured, and
convicted.
No charges were filed against Rick. On
But
October
they
12,
didn't
2018,
say
a man shoplifted a $6.49
they
can
didn't
of
say
oven
that
cleaner.
he went to
When Rick
jail
confronted
or
him,
prison. They
the man
didn't
assaulted
say
him.
either of the
Rick
two. They
produced
just
his weapon and fired
I
twice at the
read
man,
that he
striking
was
him in the leg.
convicted.
The shoplifter grabbed
The
the
whether he
woman's
went
purse,
to jail or
which
prison
contained those
was
peanuts. When the woman entered the
that
vehicle,
info
Rick produced his
wasn't
pistol and fired 6
known to the
times
public
at the
or
passenger
released
side
to the
window.
public.
No one was injured, and no
It was
charges were filed against Rick.
unbeknownst to the
On
public.
October 12, 2018,
But he did.
Light
But
and a
what
package
was
of boiled peanuts
publicly,
and left the store without paying.
what was
Rick and the woman struggled
known
outside
was
the
that
store,
he
and
got
the woman threatened to
convicted,
shoot Rick.
which is a good thing because
Carry permit
he,
and carried a Glock pistol chambered in .45 caliber ACP
the man who
while working in
assaulted,
the store.
who
On
attacked
May 4,
Chow,
2015,
provoked
Rick
the
confronted a
situation.
woman
He
who picked
initiated
up 2
harm.
cases of
Chow
Bud Light
did not
and a package of
initiate
boiled
any
peanuts
harm, so
and left the store
he
without
was
paying.
legally
Rick and the
justified
woman
in what he
struggled
did
outside the
in this
store,
case
and the
too.
woman threatened to shoot Rick.
There was a reasonable fear that serious bodily harm or worse would happen to him, so he did what he had to do to preserve his life again. He did what he had to do to preserve his life.
A problematic level of crime. The police received hundreds of calls for service for the business over the course of a few years. For example, there were reports of shoplifting, larceny, vandalism,
In South
motor
Carolina,
vehicle theft,
in
assault,
SC,
burglary,
there's
and
no,
robbery.
there is
Rick
a
had a
stand
concealed
to your
carry
ground.
permit and carried a Glock pistol chambered
There
in
is
.45
stand
caliber
to your
ACP
ground in
while
South
working in the
Carolina.
store. On May 4, 2015, Rick
There's
confronted a
a,
woman who picked
there's
up 2
no,
cases of
there
Bud
there
Light
is
and
a
package
no
of
duty to
boiled
retreat.
peanuts
You don't
and
have
left
to
the store
retreat
without
if
paying. Rick and the woman
somebody
struggled
is
outside the store,
coming into
and the
your
woman threatened to shoot
establishment
Rick.
or
In
business or
response, he grabbed the beer and the woman's purse,
place where you work
which contained those
and
peanuts.
tries
When
to
the woman
stab
entered the
you,
vehicle,
shoot you,
Rick produced his
charge,
pistol and fired
uh,
6 times at
run
the passenger
towards
side
you
window.
or
No
whatever.
one was injured, and no charges
You
were filed
can
against
stay
Rick.
and protect yourself and the people who are in the store, who work for you, the people around you. Yes, you have the right to protect yourself and to defend your. You have the right to protect yourself, to defend yourself and the people around you.
Now moving to the timeline of the man.
You can meet somebody who has a lethal weapon with lethal force. It is what it is. You can meet somebody with a deadly weapon with deadly force.
On May 28, 2020,
there's no violation in defending yourself with, if you have a legal weapon and somebody is trying to seriously bodily harm you or worse. It is what it is.
Over the course of a few years. For example, there were reports of shoplifting, larceny, vandalism, motor vehicle theft, assault, burglary, and robbery. Rick had a concealed carry permit and carried a Glock pistol chambered in .45 caliber ACP while working in the store. On May 4, 2015, Rick confronted a woman who picked up 2 cases of Bud Light and a package of boiled peanuts and left the store without paying. Rick and the woman struggled outside the store, and the woman threatened to shoot Rick. In response,
these people, these
and the woman's purse.
Certain black people, they make the whole black community look terrible, bro. Certain black people make the whole black community look terrible, bro. There's no wonder why a lot of non-blacks see the whole black community as disgraceful, because of the blacks, like this lady who stole peanuts and beer, and the man who intended to steal oven cleaner, bro. Yeah.
Rick and the woman struggled outside the store, and the woman threatened to shoot Rick.
This is why there's so much suspicion and hyper suspicion of blacks when they enter their stores, bro. You have to have empathy for these people, not just say they're doing. They're killing black people for no reason. Nah, everything happens for a reason, bro. Everything.
When Rick confronted him, the man assaulted him.
You can disagree, but every action has a reason, a story behind it.
While working in the store.
Nothing on earth happens for no reason.
Confronted a woman who picked up 2 cases of.
Certain things happen for good reasons, other things happen for bad reasons, but everything happens for a reason.
For example, there were reports.
If you say different, you are not.
Motor vehicle theft, assault,
you are
and robbery.
Illogical. It is what it is.
And had a problematic level of crime. The police received hundreds of calls for service for the business.
If you say different, you are the epitome of illogicality.
Vandalism, motor vehicle theft, assault, burglary, and robbery. Rick had a concealed carry permit.
Empathy doesn't mean you like or agree with somebody or morally justify terrible things. Empathy doesn't mean you like or agree with terrible things or morally justify terrible things. It means you understand why people do the things they do. It means you understand why people do the things they do. Empathy means you understand why people do the things they do and where they come from.
Carry permit and carried a Glock pistol chambered in .45 caliber ACP while working in the store. On May 4, 2015, Rick confronted a woman who picked up.
You don't have to like Chow or be a fan of Chow as a person, but you have to put yourself in his shoes.
The woman threatened to shoot Rick. In response, he grabbed the beer and the woman's purse, which contained those peanuts. When the woman entered her vehicle, Rick produced his pistol and fired 6 times at the passenger side window. No one was injured and no charges were filed against Rick. On October 12, 2018, a man shoplifted a $6.49 can of oven cleaner. When Rick confronted him, the man assaulted him. Rick produced his weapon and fired twice at the man, striking him in the leg.
The lady who threatened to shoot Chow, she should be in prison. Anybody who threatens physical harm should be in prison.
On May 28, 2023, at about 8:01 p.m., a 14-year-old named Cyrus Carmack Belton entered the Shell gas station owned by
with
Rick
an empty
and his
backpack
wife Alice.
with a loaded Taurus
At this time,
9mm pistol with a laser sight on it
Andy, as well as a
and
few
2 mobile
Rick
phones.
was legally concealing his Glock pistol. Again, he had a permit. Cyrus
A legal
did
permit.
not have a permit to carry a weapon. He was only 14.
Yeah, you can't legally be in possession of a gun if you are 14, bro. If you are under the age at which you are able to legally carry a weapon, this is a violation. This is a crime. So
Knowledgeable. Despite this, he was carrying a firearm, specifically a Taurus semi-automatic pistol.
this is
chambered in 9mm
illegal.
Luger.
This is
Concealing this
illegal.
weapon constituted a criminal act. Alice. At this time, the store was occupied by Rick, Alice,
How
and
did
their son Andy.
this kid
as well as
end
a
up
few
with a
customers.
gun? Where were his parents? Where were his mom and dad?
Cyrus
What were
did
they
not have a
doing?
permit
How
to
did
carry a
they
weapon.
mess
He
this
was
up?
only 14. He was not even eligible.
Where did the
Despite this,
where
he
did
was carrying a
the
firearm,
parenting
specifically
go
a Taurus
wrong?
semi-automatic
This is
pistol chambered in 9mm
an
Luger.
important
Concealing
question
this
to
weapon
ask.
constituted a criminal act. Again,
This
he had
is a
permit.
real question to
Cyrus
ask,
did not
a
have
fair
permit
question
carry a
to
weapon.
ask.
He was only
Where did
14.
the
He was not
parenting
even
go
eligible.
wrong, yo?
Despite this,
Where
he was
did
carrying a
it
firearm,
go wrong?
specifically a Taurus
Where?
semi-automatic pistol chambered in 9mm Luger. Concealing this weapon constituted a criminal act. Alice. At this time, the store was occupied by Rick, Alice, and their son Andy. Alice. At this time, the store Iris Carmack Belton entered the Shell gas station owned by Rick and his wife Alice. At this time, the store was occupied by Rick, Alice, and their son Andy. On May 28, 2023, at about 8:01
Over
p.m.,
3 years
a 14-year-old
ago.
named Cyrus Carmack Belton entered the Shell gas station owned by Rick and his wife Alice. At this time, the store was occupied by Rick, Alice, and their son Andy, as well as a few customers. Rick was legally concealing his Glock pistol. Again, he had a permit. Cyrus did not have a permit to carry a weapon.
Facts.
He was only 14.
Facts.
He was not even eligible. Despite this, he was carrying a firearm, specifically a Taurus
A loaded
semi-automatic
one.
pistol chambered in 9mm Luger. Concealing this weapon constituted a criminal act.
Yep.
The weapon was loaded, and there was a cartridge in the chamber. Cyrus did not have any money, and his book bag was empty.
No physical money.
It's not exactly clear what Cyrus intended to do.
There was no evidence of Apple Pay on his phones either. Certain people, certain black people, certain wokies, they say people can pay with their phones. They don't have to have money on them physically. I get that. It is true. A lot of people do pay with Apple Pay and different things. Yes, this is true what they're saying, this part, but there's no evidence to substantiate the claim that he had Apple Pay on his phones or digital payment methods to pay for the 4 water bottles he intended to steal. Or yeah, bro, there's no evidence, there's no proof to substantiate these claims. So to say what they said is irrelevant. They're missing the point. Yeah, these wokies, they always miss the point, bro. It is terrible, bro. It is all the way terrible. It is trash, crappy, all of these things.
Cyrus did not have any money, and his book bag was empty. It's not exactly clear what Cyrus intended to do in the store, considering how he did not have any.
They always find a way to justify goofy-ish when a black person is in trouble, bro.
Which Cyrus did.
The race idolatry, the race worship, the pedestalization of the black race is very
Cyrus then went over to
poisonous,
containing water bottles. Alice was watching him
very
the entire time.
destructive and inimical to the growth of the
Cyrus
community.
removed 4 bottles of water from a cooler. What Cyrus intended to do in the store, considering how he did not have any way to make a purchase.
No way.
Right as
No way.
constituted.
There was no way. He had no way of paying. He had no physical money, no cash. He had no Apple Pay. None of. There was no evidence to prove these things. So
it's not exactly clear what Cyrus intended to do in the store.
I think he intended to steal because why did he have an empty backpack on him? Why did he?
He was only 14. He was not even.
Why was there a gun, a loaded gun in his possession?
Specifically a Taurus.
If he didn't intend to steal or rob, if there was no evil intention, no malicious intent or criminal intent, then why did he come with an empty backpack and a loaded Taurus 9mm gun, bro? What is the reason for coming with an? What is the logical reason for coming with, and laudable reason for coming with an empty backpack and a loaded 9mm Taurus pistol with a laser sight on it? What is the logical and laudable reason for coming with an empty backpack and a loaded 9mm Taurus gun with a laser sight on it? What is the logical and laudable reason for coming with an empty backpack and a loaded Taurus 9mm pistol with a laser sight on it? What is the logical and laudable reason for doing this?
On May 28, 2023, at about 8:01 p.m., a 14-year-old named Cyrus Carmack Belton entered the Shell gas station owned by Rick and his wife Alice. At this time, the store was occupied by Rick, Alice, and their son Andy, as well as a few customers. Rick was legally concealing his Glock pistol. Again, he had a permit. Cyrus did not have a permit to carry a weapon. He was only 14. He was not even eligible. Despite this, he was carrying a firearm, specifically a Taurus semi-automatic pistol chambered in 9mm Luger. Concealing this weapon constituted a criminal act.
Yep.
The weapon was loaded, and there was a cartridge in the chamber. Cyrus did not have any money.
Still rest in peace to him. My condolences to his family, his friends, his people. Yes, I do have sympathy for his friends and his family who had nothing to do with this situation or with what he did in this store, who didn't influence him to do criminal things, who didn't encourage him to do criminal things. I do have sympathy for them, but his parents are to blame for this BS, bro. Their parenting was soft. It was weak. They didn't pay attention to everything he was doing. Cyrus was a minor, bro. You have to pay attention, bro. They messed up. They have to take accountability. If not taking accountability makes you goofy, it is what it is.
Alice was watching him the entire time. She was not.
You have people who
subtle.
are
Cyrus removed 4 bottles of water
excusing what the mom is saying. We will get to this later. What the mom is saying.
And Andy asked him if he put a bottle of water in his pocket. Cyrus denied stealing the bottles, picked up his backpack, and exited the store. Was asked to do this. Cyrus then went over to a cooler containing water bottles. Alice, just right as Cyrus entered, Rick's wife Alice asked him to put his payment. Cyrus did not have any money, and his book bag was empty.
No moolah,
it's not
no
exactly
cheese, no
what
cash.
Cyrus intended to do in the store, considering how he did not have any way to make a purchase. Right as Cyrus entered, Rick's wife Alice asked him to put his backpack down, which Cyrus did. This was not unusual treatment. Everyone who entered was asked to do this. Cyrus then went over to a cooler containing water bottles. Alice was watching him the entire time. She was not particularly subtle. Cyrus removed 4 bottles of water from a cooler and then returned the bottles to the cooler.
Yep.
When Cyrus turned away from the water cooler, Alice and Andy asked him if he put a bottle of water in his pocket. Cyrus denied stealing the bottles.
He didn't take anything. He put the bottles back, but he did have the intent. He did have the intention meant to say to steal.
Part of the confrontation.
But he did leave with no products from the store. Yes,
To
he
the
didn't
store.
take any
Andy
products
exited
from the store.
and pursued Cyrus,
He did
believing
have
that he
a
had
loaded
committed a
gun in
theft.
his hoodie
Rick was not
pockets,
part of
yes.
the confrontation.
He left
He was
with,
not trying to figure
he
out
did
if
leave with
Cyrus
the
had
gun
stolen
in his
anything or
pockets,
not.
the Taurus
But he also
9mm
exited the store
pistol,
and
yes.
pursued Cyrus. The men chased Cyrus and exited the
But
store.
there is no evidence to
Andy
prove
exited
that
the store and pursued
he
Cyrus,
left with
believing that
bottles.
he had committed a theft. Rick was not part of the confrontation.
There
He
is
was
no
not trying
evidence to
figure
prove
out
that
if
he
Cyrus
left
had
the
stolen
store
anything
with
or not.
bottles.
But he also exited the store and pursued Cyrus. When Cyrus turned away from the water cooler, Alice and Andy asked him if he put a bottle of water in his pocket. Cyrus denied stealing the bottles, picked up his backpack, and exited the store. Andy exited the store and pursued Cyrus, believing that he had committed a theft. Rick was not part of the confrontation. He was not trying to figure out if Cyrus had stolen anything or not. But he also exited the store and pursued Cyrus. The men chased Cyrus on the gas station property, then onto Spring Tree Drive toward
130
an
yards
apartment complex.
plus,
When the men were almost
or
400
390
feet
feet
from the gas
plus,
station, Rick produced his
equivalent.
pistol and shot Cyrus in the back. Had stolen anything or not. But he also exited the store and pursued Cyrus. The men chased Cyrus on the gas station property, then onto Spring Tree Drive toward an apartment complex. When the men were almost 400 feet from the gas station, Rick
390 feet.
and shot Cyrus in the back.
Once they shot Rick, the father, shot him once, not the son, the father. Rick Chow shot him once in the back,
At the scene, Cyrus on the gas station
killing
property,
him.
then onto Spring Tree Drive toward an apartment complex. When the men were almost 400 feet from the gas station, Rick produced his pistol and shot Cyrus in the back, killing him. After this, he performed CPR on Cyrus until emergency responders arrived.
Resuscitated, or tried to resuscitate him, meant to say.
Cyrus had stolen anything or not.
He did mouth to mouth. They caught the police.
The men chased Cyrus on the gas station property, then onto Spring Tree Drive.
So there was some remorse within Rick Chow. So to say Rick had no remorse is crazy.
Rick produced his
manipulative, mendacious,
Cyrus in the back.
Scurrilous.
After this, he performed CPR on Cyrus until emergency responders arrived.
Yeah.
At the scene, both Rick and Andy told the police that Cyrus had produced a pistol and pointed the weapon at Andy. This is why Rick fired. He was provoked.
Certain black people say Chow is racist, that this family is racist. If they were racist, would they be trying to revive a black boy who was shot by the father? Would they really try to save this kid's life, bro? Would they really try to save him? Would they really try to save Cyrus if they were racist? Yo, people gotta think, bro.
An apartment complex. When the men were almost 400 feet from the gas station, Rick produced his pistol and shot Cyrus in the back, killing him. After this, he performed CPR on Cyrus until emergency responders arrived. At the scene,
would they have allowed him to even shop in their store? Before that, would they have even allowed Cyrus to shop in their store if they were racist? Would they have allowed Cyrus to shop in their store if they were racist? No. You gotta think. This emotion stuff, putting emotion above logic, is very stupid, very dumb, very idiotic. Yo, I get it, but you have to put logic above emotion. These wokies, they really do, because super emotionality hurts you. It really does. It causes more BS, not less BS. It causes more nonsense. So you have to put logic before emotion. Easier said than done, but it has to be done. Words.
Performed CPR on Cyrus until emergency responders arrived. At the scene, both Rick and Andy told the police that Cyrus had produced a pistol and pointed the weapon at Andy. This is why Rick fired. He was provoked. The police located the Taurus pistol near the body of Cyrus. Despite an apartment complex. When the men were almost
I gotta
400
turn this
feet
fan
from
on.
the gas station,
It
Rick
is
produced
getting
his pistol
hotter
and
in this
shot
room.
Cyrus in the back, killing him.
Hopefully you
After
can
this,
still
he performed
hear
CPR on Cyrus until
everything.
emergency responders arrived.
Let me know.
At the scene, both Rick and Andy told the police that Cyrus had produced a pistol and pointed the weapon at Andy. This is why Rick fired. He was provoked. The police located the Taurus pistol near the body of Cyrus. Despite the appearance that the shooting was a case of legitimate self-defense, the police believed that Rick murdered Cyrus. On the next day, May 29, 2023, they arrested Rick Chow and charged him with murder. Rick was held in jail without bond for about 3 years.
Yep.
His trial started on May 27, 2026.
Yep.
The prosecution argued that Rick chased Cyrus and shot him in the back. This was a clear case of murder, in part because Rick should have never pursued Cyrus.
You can disagree morally with what Chow did. The people who say morally it wasn't great or good, I get those people. I agree morally it wasn't the best, but legally it was justifiable what he did. There was reasonable fear that he and his son and his family were going to be seriously bodily harmed or worse. They had reasonable fear, so Rick shot Cyrus in the back. After they had reasonable fear because they saw his gun fall out of his hoodie pocket. His gun fell. They said the son said he tried to aim the gun. There's no evidence to prove that Cyrus tried to aim the gun at the family, but the gun did fall. And when they saw that, they were saying that they don't want to risk losing their lives or let themselves get killed. They said they have to preserve their lives. It is either him or them. This is logical. You have to end the other person first. Don't let the other person into you. You have to make sure you end up alive for no BS. So you have to do what you have to do to make it back home and still be on this earth. It is what it is. You can disagree morally with what happened. Morally, yeah, he did go overboard, Chow. I think genuinely, but legally it was justified. Legally it was justified what he did. It was legally justified what he did. What Chow did was legally justified. So it is what it is. People can be angry. Many people are angry, but the law is the law. If you have a reasonable fear that you or the people around you will die, you have to do what you have to do. You are able to do what you have to do to preserve the lives, your life and the lives of the people around you. So you can be angry, but legally you can't dispute. It is indisputable. It is all the way indisputable legally.
This is why Rick fired. He was provoked. The police located the Taurus pistol near the body of Cyrus. Despite the appearance that the shooting was a case of legitimate self-defense, the police believed that Rick murdered Cyrus. On the next day, May 29, 2023, they arrested Rick Chow and charged him with murder. Rick was held in jail without bond for about 3 years. His trial started on May 27, 2026. The prosecution argued that Rick chased Cyrus and shot him in the back. This was a clear case of murder, in part because Rick should have never pursued Cyrus in the first place. The defense argued that Cyrus was breaking the law by possessing the pistol.
Yes, he
During the
was.
pursuit, he
This
pointed
is the
his weapon
incontrovertible
at Rick's son, Andy.
truth. This
Rick
is
fired
the
to defend
incontrovertible
his
truth.
son.
He did have illegal possession of a 9mm gun, bro.
This was a clear case of murder, in part
He
because
was
Rick
in illegal
should have
possession
never pursued
of
Cyrus
this
in the
gun,
first
so
place. The defense argued
it
that
is what
Cyrus
it
was
is.
breaking the law by possessing the pistol. During the pursuit, he pointed his weapon at Rick's son, Andy.
There's no
Rick
evidence to
fired
prove this,
to
but
defend
this
his
is the
son.
narrative, yes.
This was a case of defense of another. On June 1, 2026, Rick Chow was found not guilty.
There's no
of murder.
evidence to prove this, as in there's no evidence to prove that Cyrus aimed the gun at the family.
2026, Rick Chow was found not guilty of murder.
Was strong. My son was smart, he was loving, he was kind. I cannot believe that from the time he stepped into that store, as we all saw, he was racially profiled.
How? What's evidence? Produce the evidence, produce the proof. What evidence do you have? What's real evidence do you have to prove that this kid Cyrus was racially profiled? Yo, bro, stop.
This was a clear case
This
of murder.
is super
in part
wokeness,
because
bro.
Rick should have never pursued Cyrus in the first place.
This
The defense
is
argued that Cyrus was breaking the
evasion
law
of
by possessing
accountability,
the pistol.
evasion of
During the
personal
pursuit,
responsibility,
his
bro.
weapon
This
at
is
Rick's son,
victimology.
Andy.
This is
Rick
victimhood.
fired
This
to
is
defend his
deflection.
son.
This is
This
diversion.
was
This
a case
is
of defense of another. On
it is
June
all
1,
of these things.
2026,
This is
Rick
weakness.
Chow was found not guilty
Stop.
of murder.
Was
Take
strong.
accountability.
My son was smart, he was loving, he was kind. I cannot believe that from the time he stepped into that store, as we all saw, he was racially profiled.
How?
They followed him around.
Can you blame them
Was
really?
shopping.
Have empathy for these people, for a child, for the lady, you have to have empathy for these people. Empathy does not mean you have to like these people, but empathy means you put yourself in their shoes, bro. You put yourself in other people's shoes, bro. These are the same people who profess to be for empathy and to be for understanding of other people and why they do the things they do. But when it comes to the groups they disagree with or whatever, they don't have empathy for them, bro. It is fake empathy. It is selective empathy. This is not how empathy works, bro. Empathy is not limited to people you agree with, to your own race or your own tribe or your own political party or whatever, your own religion. Empathy applies to everybody, bro. Empathy applies to everybody. You have to have empathy for everybody, bro, even if you hate them, bro. Empathy is not hatred of a person is irrelevant to empathy. But many people are ignorant of this. Certain people are ignorant of this. Other people are purposely misunderstanding what empathy means, bro. They know. Certain people know. They just are goofy people. They just are disgraceful people. They just are unlaudable people. People with no integrity, people with no virtuosity, people with no rectitude. It is what it is. This is the harsh reality. People have to know this. People have to understand this, bro. This kills me, bro. This sickens me, this selective empathy, man. So people should only have empathy for Cyrus, bro. Like, I agree people should have empathy for Cyrus, bro. I get it, bro. I really do get it. But you have to have empathy for everybody, bro. Not just one side or one party. It is their business. They can follow you if they want. if they wish to follow you, they can follow you. It is what it is. You don't have to like it, but that is their establishment. That is their business. That is their place of work. That is their where they do where business is happening. So this is where they are dealing with customers. This is their ish. This is their stuff. So they can follow you if they wish to follow you. It is what it is. You don't have to agree with it. You don't have to like it, but you have to respect the rules, you have to be logical. You have to be sagacious, prudent. You have to be thinking. You can't be emotional, over emotional. You have to be logical. Yeah, if you don't like people follow, if you don't want people to follow you in the store, don't go to the store in the first place, bruh. It is simple, but people they think they're entitled to certain things. They're delusional. This is why a lot of people. This is why the community is in this predicament. The community is in, bro. This is why non-black people look at the community the way they do it and perceive the community to be terrible and subhuman and all of these things. It is because of this goofy stuff, bro. People have to, there has to be growth. There has to be accountability, bro. If there's no accountability, nothing will change, bro. This is craziness, bro. There's a reason why the Chow family was super suspicious, bro, because of the history of theft and crime that took place at their business, bro. A lot of people who committed crimes were black people, bro. So logically they're going to become more suspicious. This doesn't mean it is right to think to automatically assume somebody is going to commit a crime. Not everybody who's shopping with no money or whatever is intending to commit a crime, but if there's a history of theft, then logically the business owners, the people who work there, they are going to be more suspicious. It is what it is. There are people who do get unfairly punished, people who don't intend to commit crimes, but still gets punished or banned from the store or whatever. Upstanding citizens who there are upstanding citizens who get banned unfairly or unfairly treated or perceived as some threat or threatening or whatever, but you have to have empathy for the people who are super suspicious, because there is a history of people thieving and robbing and different things. So there has to be a balance to this stuff, bro, but so many people have no balance because they're so programmed and so brainwashed. It is a disease, bro. It really is. It really is a disease it really is a social ailment and disease that needs to be eradicated soon. Words.
2026, Rick Chow was found.
He was shopping. As we all saw, he was racially profiled. They followed him around. He was shopping. He took 4 waters, he put them back. He even showed them by shaking his hoodie that he took nothing.
But there was criminal intent still, even though he puts the bottles back. There was criminal intent.
He didn't have any confrontation.
She's evading.
He just walked out. He was respectful. And yet 2 grown people chased him. He fell and they shot him. He shot him dead, like as if he was a dog. And I do not understand how that
there was a reasonable fear of their lives getting taken away, bro.
He was in a runner's stance. It was shown by the pathologist. And
she doesn't care for these things.
He fell and they shot him. He shot him dead, like as if he was a dog. And I do not understand how that jury can come back and say at the
having empathy for the Chow family. I get it. It is understandable. It is her son. It is like they're. I get it, but
argue with them. He didn't have any confrontation. He didn't curse them. He just walked out. He was respectful. And yet 2 grown people chased him. He fell and they shot him. He shot him dead, like as if he was a dog. And I do not understand how that jury can come back and say that he was not guilty.
Correct verdict was not guilty. There was a reasonable fear of his life getting taken away. So he did what he had to do to preserve his life and the lives of his family members, bro. Period.
And I do not understand how
so
that
he walked
jury
free.
Can come back and say that he was not guilty.
There was no malicious intent in what Chow did. They couldn't prove malice, so he was able to be.
They said he was not guilty.
Let off.
It was devastating for me to get a call from Alvin S. Glenn
let go meant to say, let's go. There was no malice in what he did. They couldn't prove malice, so he was able to be let go and go home.
It was devastating for me to get a call from Alvin S. Glenn letting me understand. It was shown by the pathologist and he fell and they shot him. He shot him dead, like as if he was a dog. And I do not understand how that jury can come back and say that he was not guilty. He was in a runner's stance. It was shown by the pathologist and they said he was not guilty. It was devastating for me to get a call from Alvin S. Glenn letting me know that Rick Chow was released. That broke me more than you can ever imagine because my murderer of my son was set free. And it's not fair and it's unjust. And nobody can tell me that this is not racially motivated. Because
what's evidence?
I'm not supposed to be on social media anyway.
You can't just assume or accuse somebody of something with no evidence.
Media, I have racist people coming to my page, going under my son's pictures, leaving the most horrific things, saying that they're glad he's dead, good riddance, and I am tired.
Yeah, the people who say they're happy he's dead and all of this other stuff, overboard stuff, they're bugging. I give you, I am with you there, but yeah. But he did put himself in this situation. So if he didn't go to that store with the loaded 9mm pistol with a laser on it, he would still be here to this day. If y'all paid attention to what he was doing, this BS wouldn't happen. This BS would not have happened, meant to say. So, yeah, I get it. What certain people are saying is crazy. They're happy he's dead. Nah. Yours truly is not happy Cyrus is dead, but he did do this to himself. He did put himself in a precarious and perilous situation. So he won a stupid prize. They say you play stupid games. If you play stupid games, you will win a stupid prize, bro. It is what it is. Actions have consequences. This is the reality of the universe. Actions have consequences. If you do certain things will happen. It is what it is.
Happen to any other child, no black or brown child, you have to go through this. No parent should have to.
You peeped. She only said no black or brown. What about Caucasian? Innocent Caucasian? No Caucasian. Yeah. No Caucasian, no innocent Caucasian should have to go through that either. So yeah, this is racism, bro. What she is doing, this is racism, bro. Crazy.
Go through this. This has to stop today. Horrific thing saying that they're glad he's dead, good riddance, and I am tired.
It is unfortunate what happened to Cyrus, but he did this to himself.
No parent should have to.
No Caucasian family should have to go through this either. No Caucasian should have to go through this either. No Caucasian has to. No Caucasian should have to go through this either.
Any other child, no black or brown child, you have to go through this. No parent should have to go through this. This has to stop today. But every day, I will not be able to speak to my son, hear his voice change, see him grow, go to prom. He would never get married. I would never hold my grandchildren, nothing. But Chow is able to go home with his lion son, Andy Chow, and they're able to have dinner with the wife, Alice, who all three of them came out that store and they chased my baby. And I think the entire family should be held accountable because it was racially profiled.
For what?
And I do not
there's no evidence to prove racial profile. For what? There's no evidence to prove they were racially profiling this kid Cyrus.
Our people, but it needs to be done.
This is
victimology
stuff is crazy.
Should not be gone. None of our children should be gone.
I agree, but
racism, from profiling,
y'all
from
parenting.
Any of that. He should be
Weak
here.
Parenting led to this. It is what it is. Take accountability.
Treats us like
until you take accountability.
Beings. I mean, come on. Y'all hire us.
BS will continue.
Around. You like our culture. You want to listen to the music. You want to wear our clothes. You want to do all of that stuff. But when it comes to protecting us, and when it comes to looking at our children, you look at us as if we are animals. And
this is racism, bro. This is race baiting. This is monolithic. This is monolithic. This is she's making monolithic remarks. She's blanketing entire groups of people. Saying all Asians have evil intentions. They intend to appropriate black culture and all of the black products, inventions, whatever, black music, whatever. She is saying all Asians are guilty of this, culpable of this. All non-black people are culpable of this. No. This is race baiting. This is manipulation. This is woke-ish. This is divisive-ish. But she professes to be against. What she is doing is divisive, but she professes to be against division, anti-division. Please.
Done, and it needs to be done now. Cyrus should not be gone. None of our children should be gone from the acts of racism, from profiling, from any of that. He should be here. And until the world treats us like we are human beings, I mean, come on. Y'all hire us. Y'all want us around. You like our culture. You want to listen to the music. You want to wear our clothes. You want to do all of that stuff. But when it comes to protecting us and when it comes to looking at our children, you look at us as if we are animals, and we are not. I am a college-educated woman. I hold a master's degree in information technology management.
Salutes to her genuinely for doing this, getting her education, her degree. But your degree doesn't make you superior or more informed or more educated or more intelligent or more virtuous.
Technology management. My son was not a thug. He was a 14-year-old boy who was trying to find his way. And for any person that acts like when they were 14,
this is
15,
deflection.
16, 17, that they did not do nothing wrong, that they did not
All of us have done
drink and
idiotic
have
things.
sex and do whatever that they were not supposed to do by their parents, it is a lie.
All of us have made mistakes, yes.
If we are
But
animals and we are
certain
not,
people did not
educated woman.
have sex or do drugs or abuse drugs
My
or
son was not a thug. He was a 14-year-old
or commits
boy
crimes.
trying to find his way.
Certain
And for
14,
any
certain
that acts
some
like
of
when
us
they were
did
14,
not do those
15,
things.
16, 17,
Those
that they did not do
particular
nothing
things,
wrong,
drugs,
that they did not
alcohol,
smoke and drink
robbery.
and have sex and do whatever. Master's degree in information technology management. My son was not a thug. He was a 14-year-old boy who was trying to find his way. And for any person that acts like when they were 14, 15, 16, 17, that they did not do nothing wrong, that they did not smoke and drink and have sex and do
Yours
whatever
truly has
that
been
they were
sober
not
his
supposed
whole
to
life.
do by their parents,
Yours
it
truly
is a
never
lie.
did drugs
And
or
it is
drank
judgmental,
alcohol.
and I refuse
Yours
to
truly
allow
never
any
robbed
of you
people or joined a gang. Yours truly never did criminal stuff, bro. Yours truly was into the books, into studying, into increasing his intelligence, his knowledge, reading different things, playing sports. This is what yours truly was doing at 14. Yeah. You know, so to say the stuff she's saying in this part is wild. I agree we've all made mistakes, but to act like all of us have done drugs, committed crimes, and did degen stuff is goofy to me.
Their parents, it is a lie. And it is judgmental, and I refuse to allow
This is fragile, woke, weak victimology-ish, bro. To say it is judgmental, please, bro, please.
Sex and do whatever that they were not supposed to do by their parents, it is a lie. And it is judgmental, and I refuse to allow any of you to sit up there and make it seem like we were bad parents because we were not.
You were.
So why
Y'all
did
were.
your 14-year-old son have a gun?
Why? This is
If
the
you
question,
weren't
a
bad
valid
parents,
question.
Why
A
did
real
your
question, a fair
14-year-old
question.
son have a loaded
9mm
firearm?
Taurus gun.
Why was your 14-year-old son by himself
Taurus
going
9mm
to a
gun,
gas
meant to say.
station with a loaded firearm, with no money,
With a laser,
an empty backpack,
with no Apple Pay, no evidence of Apple
grabbing
Pay.
items, right, and putting them back while also being watched, right?
Yep.
Almost as if he knows
Monitored.
he's being watched and that he's trying to steal stuff.
Surveilled.
But, you know, he doesn't know if he can get away with it, so he plays it what he thought was safe, right? But it turned out it wasn't safe. Yeah, he put it back and he tried to leave, and when confronted about, hey, are you stealing? Are you trying to steal anything? He ran away.
Yep.
And according to the owner of the convenience store and the family, the teenager was shot in self-defense because the teenager pointed the gun at the son.
Allegedly.
And the father.
There's no evidence to prove Cyrus aimed the gun, but the gun did fall. It was in view. They were able to see the gun, the Chow family.
But what I do know is just based off the details of the story, a lot of it was preventable, right?
They felt threatened, so they did
like
what they had.
So
Rick did what he had to do to preserve his and his family's life.
To be honest with you, you know, it seemed like the behavior of the teenager, and according to the owner of the convenience store and the family, the teenager
they felt threatened, so Rick did what he had to do to preserve
and the father
his life and his family members' lives, bro.
Now, I don't know if that's actually what happened, but
self-preservation.
The teenager was shot in self-defense.
Survival.
The teenager pointed the gun at the son, and the father shot the teenager while running away to protect his son. Now, I don't know if that's actually what happened, but what I do know is just based on and family.
What Chow did was laudable. It really was laudable.
Self-defense because the teenager pointed the gun at the son, and the father shot the teenager while running away. And according to the owner of the convenience store in the family, the teenager was shot in self-defense because the teenager pointed the gun at the son, and the father shot the teenager while running away to protect his son. Now, I don't know if that's actually what happened, but what I do know is just based off the details of the story, a lot of it was preventable, right? In the sense that,
I concur. We converge.
Like the behavior of the teenager and the lack of oversight,
guidance.
Right? When you talk about parenting, is
discipline.
What led to this. To be honest with you, I mean, the store owner
instilling of good values.
A history of shoplifting, a history of individuals going into that store and stealing, and the unfortunate reality,
thieving.
You know, it seemed like the behavior of the teenager and the lack of oversight, right? When you talk about parenting, is what led to this.
Yes.
To be honest with you,
yes.
I mean,
indubitably so.
Has dealt with this for a long time. A history of shoplifting.
Yes.
A history of individuals
different crimes, not just
stealing.
shoplifting.
And the unfortunate reality is that people are getting fed up.
Yep,
people
rightfully
fed
so.
Up with it, right? They're getting fed up with these young teenagers, right?
YNs.
You know, apparently
young
angels,
bucks.
Okay, when they face the consequences of their actions, they're angels. Okay, never did anything wrong. Great kids, right? And no, by the way, I did not
infallibility,
drink,
infallibility,
have sex, or anything.
Word.
The mother was claiming that
Me
all
neither.
14-year-olds do, right?
She's bugging.
That's not what I was doing.
Facts.
At 14, okay? I was proudly not smoking, not drinking.
Facts.
A virgin.
Facts.
Proudly,
I was a virgin too.
Very sober,
same,
edge 14-year-old, right?
Same.
In fact, most 14-year-olds I knew at the time were like that for the most part. Now, I'm not saying that, you know, some of them weren't out there smoking and drinking and having sex.
Yeah, certain people I met in college, they said
life.
they started drinking at younger ages. One of my college friends who graduated also, he told me he started drinking when he was 13 or 14. I forgot, but yeah, around one of those too. Yeah. A young age.
Not drinking, a virgin. I was.
But he's intelligent. He's educated. He's intelligent.
Sober,
he didn't.
Straight edge 14-year-old, right? In fact, most 14-year-olds I knew at the time were.
He's grinding.
Like that for the most part. Now, I'm not saying that
he's contributing to society in a positive way. Even though he was drinking when he was younger.
Right now, that's
salutes
not what
to
I
him.
was doing at 14. Okay, I was proudly not smoking, not drinking, a virgin. I was proudly a very sober, straight edge 14-year-old, right? In fact, most 14-year-olds I knew at the time were like that.
Same. A lot of 14-year-olds kids I knew too. They were not committing crimes or joining gangs
that's not what I was
or doing
at 14,
DJing stuff. They were also into their books, to their studies, sports, different positive things.
Sober, straight edge 14-year-old, right? In fact, most 14-year-olds I knew at the time were like that for the most part. Now, I'm not saying that, you know, some of them weren't out there smoking and drinking and having sex, but most of them that were doing that lived lives that were, thuggish, right? Criminal in nature, okay? And some of them are dead or in jail, in prison. So
unlawful,
overall,
ruffian
if you're doing
stuff.
that at that young age, I think that indicates that you probably don't have a bright future, right?
Most likely.
So, you know, I do understand where the family's coming from. In the sense that the kid was trying to run away.
Yeah.
And, you know, he shouldn't have been shot while trying to run away. But
you can morally disagree, but it is.
He put himself in that situation.
Yes. Facts.
Now, anything is right or wrong, again.
This is the reality what BCP is saying.
Should be going into a convenience store by himself.
He has no business
with a firearm, right? I think that is the main
in a store
issue here. Okay?
With an illegal gun, bro.
Say, well, the store owner should have shot him, and you know, maybe the store owner didn't use proper judgment. There was no reason to actually, you know, kill the kid. I don't know. I wasn't there. I don't know if the kid pointed the gun at him or what.
Yeah.
Also, I don't know what they perceived at the time, because that's ultimately what it comes down to. So regardless of what you think about this case, whether or not you believe
it is irrelevant.
Asian convenience store owner is guilty or innocent. I mean, he's innocent, right? According to court of law.
Legal justification.
Upset, right? They're not accepting this. They're
different
upset.
from moral.
They're now saying they're going to boycott Asian businesses because of this. So without further ado, let's go ahead and get into it.
So, in response to Rick Chow's racist ass being released from prison,
Yeah, shut up. Yeah. It is crazy that certain black people believe Chow is racist with no real evidence, bro. Yeah, they just believe something just because they go off of what they hear other black people say, other woke people say, garbage people, manipulative people. Yeah. They blindly believe this. They don't do their own research. They blindly believe this narrative, then run with it, then push it to their audiences or whatever, to other people. Um, yeah, the manipulation travels. It the manipulation spreads and it travels. Uh, it reaches more. It reaches a higher amount of people. The manipulation, bro. It is, yeah. The stuff is crazy, bro. Yeah, people have to do their own research. Stop blindly believing everything is racist, bigoted, hateful. Yeah, this is how you get led to the slaughter. Metaphorically, you blindly believe every transgression is racism, bigotry, hateful, or perceived transgression. Transgression is racism, bigotry, odium. Yeah, you have to chill. You have to take a chill pill, but many people won't because they're so brainwashed to believe garbage. So yeah, this this sickness will still be present in society, but yeah, if more people freed their minds from the cages, bro, there will be less of this sickness, bro. The sickness won't be as abundant on this earth. This social sickness of, yeah, this, bro. This social sickness, if more people sought the truth, bro, if more people thought for themselves, the social sickness won't be as abundant or common as it is now, bro. Yeah, it is crazy now. The level of the yeah, the abundance level of this social sickness, the level of it is crazy now, but if more people did their own research, things will be better. Society will be better as a whole, bro. So people have to use their brains, put logic before emotion. Society will be greater as a result.
you can buy everything off of Amazon. Like, that's
Black people and black people used to the black community, right?
healing. I just know it's so.
Seeing history repeat itself in the Rick Chow.
These squirrels are better at saving than we are.
Try embracing your inner squirrel. When you open a BMO Savings Builder account, you get a cash reward every month you save.
That could help us redo the yard.
You could really go.
To that feeling is seeing some of the Asian American.
That's the right place for you. In the continent of Africa. And cry. I really don't understand it. I don't get it. But let's continue here, okay? Because again, they're mad that the Asians aren't responding the way that they want the Asians to respond.
Seeing history repeat itself in the Rick Chow case is genuinely disgusting and disheartening. I think what's adding to that feeling is seeing some of the Asian American community's responses on TikTok reacting to people saying they're going to boycott Asian businesses and only deciding to speak on that point. There is so
what's who does boycotting Asian businesses and Chinese businesses help? What side does it help? How does this solve anything? How does this lead to unity, to real change for the better, to truly positive change in society, bro? To the betterment of society? How does this lead to this, bro? It will only cause more division, more hate, more hatred, more antipathy, more animosity, more conflict, more strife, bro. More supposition, more presupposition, more preconception, more prejudgment, more prejudice. It causes the opposite effect. It is futile, it is pointless, it is stupid, it is garbage, it is rubbish, it is immoral, it is detestable, hideous, icky, cruddy, crummy, all of these things. Boycotting their businesses because of what Chow did, of what one Asian person did, causes more Asians to hate all black people, bro. Yeah, it is nuts. It is insane. You collectively punishing people, Asians, who had nothing to do with what Chow did, with what happened in the Chow situation, is unfair, stupid, idiotic, unsagacious, unlaudable, disgraceful, and detestable. It is all the way. It is all of these things all the way. Saying the whole Asian community is responsible for what Chow did is manipulative and thick-headed and moronic. It is, yeah. Saying all Asian people are evil because of what Chow did is all the way insensible. You don't know all Asian people or all Chinese people to say they're all evil, they're all terrible. How do you know? You never had conversations. You never engaged in convos with all Asian people, with all Chinese people, with all Bangladeshi people, all Thai people, all Malaysian people, all Taiwanese people, all Vietnamese people, all Cambodian people, all Filipinos, Filipinas. You never had convos with all Indian people, people from the country of India, people who were born in India. So how can you really say they're all terrible people? You have no knowledge of all people from this community. You have no knowledge of all of these people from this community. So you can't make monolithic remarks. You can't say that they're all trash. You can't say that they are all goofy. You have no knowledge of all of these people, so you have to chill. But certain people won't. Certain black people, certain wokies, many wokies, they won't chill because they are goofy. They suck.
Much internalized anti-blackness in the Asian community, and I'm speaking on this as someone who's half Chinese and half black, to the point where someone can literally be murdered in cold blood, and your concern is people online saying they're going to boycott Asian businesses. It's really something to consider.
As if it doesn't matter. Yeah, she's bugging. She's delusional.
Yeah, so I don't know. I mean, apparently there's supposed to be some animosity between black people and Asian people. I don't know anything about that. She's a simp
of the black community. She's a simp.
Yeah, so I don't know. I mean, apparently there's supposed to be
a worshiper, an idolater.
Animosity between black people and Asian people. I don't know anything about
this
that.
Gives self-hatred of her Chinese side, of her Asian side. This does give self-loathing vibes. Yeah, it is. This isn't self-love. She thinks she's holding. She thinks she's for black people or loving of black people. Nah, when you make black people out to be victims and to make excuses for them as if they are incapable of doing wrong or doing sinful things or terrible things, you hurt them instead of helping them. You cause more damage than good. So This virtue signaling stuff, this saviorism stuff, this self-hatred of your Asian side stuff is really crazy, bro. Yeah, bro. You gotta evolve.
Asian people. Yeah. So I don't know. I mean, apparently there's supposed to be some animosity between black people and Asian people. I don't know anything about that. I don't hate Asian people.
Facts.
Right?
I don't hate any group of
animosity
people
towards them or anything like that.
Certain people from each group I dislike. Yes, certain people. I am averse to certain people of each group, race, religion, political party. Yes, but I don't hate every person from every group. It is dumb. I don't know every person from every group to hate all people from each group. I don't know every person from every group. I don't know every person from every group. I don't know every person from every group to hate all of the people from each group. It is stupid. It is shameful. It is disgraceful. It is odious. It is hateable all the way. If you are a good person, genuinely, if you are a genuinely good person, you are my people. If you are a genuinely good Asian person, you are my people. Your race doesn't matter. Your race is irrelevant. Your race doesn't determine your behavior or your credibility, your integrity, your morality, your rectitude. Your actions determine your behavior, your morality, your character, your heart, your actions. Your actions determine your character, your integrity, your rectitude, your righteousness, not your race. An immutable trait. Immutable traits don't determine rectitude or moral uprightness. Your actions determine this. Your acts determine this. I stand on this. I will forever abide by this until the end. Your race does not determine behavior, bro. If you are a genuinely good person, you are my people. I rock with you heavy, tough. You are good money to me. If you are genuinely moral, genuinely upright, genuinely of rectitude, you are my people. It doesn't matter if you are black. Just because somebody shares your race, this doesn't mean they are good or bad people. It all depends. You get to know people, you see they have you. If they show and prove to be good or bad, then you judge that. You don't, or you judge them based on that. You don't judge them based on their race. It is unfair, it is stupid, it is garbage, it is evil, it is wicked, it is odious, all of these things. So get to know people, let them show and prove to be good or bad, then judge based on the behavior, not on their immutable traits, something they can't control. Because if you judge based on something a person can't control, you are hateful, you are bigoted, racist, whatever. Yeah, black people can be racist too. If you hate based on race, you are racist. Blacks are not immune to this label or immune to being called racist if they are being genuinely racist and judging people based on race before they even have conversations with them or know the facts of what happened. Yeah, so
between black people and Asian people. I don't know anything about that. I don't hate Asian people, right? I don't have any animosity towards them or anything like that.
I know Asian people. I know many Asian people.
I like everybody, right?
To be honest with you. They never.
But, I don't know. Apparently, there's supposed to be some beef between Asians and black people. I don't know about that.
We've had good conversations. We treated each other like humans. So I don't hate all Asian people.
Between black people and Asian people, I don't know anything about that. I don't
if you treat me like a human, you are good. You are my people, bro.
Like that. I don't mind Asians. I like Asians actually. I like everybody, right? To be honest with you. But I don't know. Apparently there's supposed to be some beef between Asians and black people.
I don't know about that, right? But you do have some.
A lot of blacks hate Asians. A lot of Asians hate blacks. Yes.
And so what?
Because of programming from
that's what it takes to wake our community up.
Because of a lot of negative programming that happens from the cultists in both races.
You know, I don't know. Apparently, there's supposed to be some between Asians and black people.
Not all blacks hate Asians. Right? Not all Asians hate blacks. So
who are standing with the pro-blacks.
And so what if black people
they're saviors, these businesses? Simps.
If that's what it takes to wake our community up, more
who
power
pedestalize
to them.
blacks
really
as if they're infallible.
Because I'm tired of getting on this app every business week and having to talk about
cringy, corny,
that some
pathetic.
Asian person is doing to black people. There's so many other things I want to talk about on this app: domestic violence prevention, mosquito brains, because that's what I got my PhD in, my writing process, and how I write sci-fi novels, and how
salutes for the PhD, but you don't have to be a simp of black people to be considered virtuous or laudable. This is what people have to know. This is what the simps have to know.
And I don't want to have anybody in my life.
Probably one of the biggest issues, and again, men of all races should be able to agree on this one thing, right? We should all be.
We will end this. Let me see. There's something else. Yeah, this is crazy. Hold up.
Hey guys, back to the playground again, huh?
Yep. You know what this playground could use? A wine country.
Heck yeah, and some waves, so we could go surfing.
Love that.
A redwood forest would be cool.
Ski slopes.
Let's do it.
Can a girl go shopping?
Wait. Did we just invent California?
Discover why California is the ultimate playground at visitcalifornia.com.
I just passed by a boycott. Our own, period.
What?
Yeah, for you to support Rick Chow situation out in South Carolina, right? Everybody should be familiar with the story. If you're not familiar with it, long story short, you had an Asian business owner and his family. They were concerned about a 14-year-old named Cyrus going into their store and possibly stealing things because there's a history of
for water bottles.
Store and stealing.
For water bottles.
The young 14-year-old walked into the store with
Cyrus Belton, Cyrus Carmack Belton.
Anything, no money. Grabbed some water bottles, put it back, and then decided to leave. And the son of the business owner decided to go after the young man because they thought that he may have stole something, right? A bottle of water. I know a lot of the blacks believe that water should be free and that people should just be able to steal whatever, but that's
crazy,
not how
delusional, deluded,
anyway, so they
warped.
went after the kid. The kid started running away, right? Like he's guilty of something. And apparently, at some point, his firearm, right, came out, okay, the gun that the 14-year-old was carrying, and the owner of the store ended up shooting the 14-year-old in self-defense for his son, right? His son was chasing him. Apparently, the firearm was pulled by the 14-year-old. We don't know if it was actually pointed.
Allegedly. There's no evidence to prove this.
As they were chasing him because they thought he stole something, right? A very unfortunate situation. But to me, my takeaway is that what is a 14-year-old
doing with
a loaded firearm?
Cyrus did.
Going into
He
a convenience store by himself.
It is what it is.
Empty backpack and no money. Like, what is he doing, right?
It is sad that he's no longer here, but weak parenting led to this.
What led to this teenager losing his life, right? That's my take on it. But again, the pro-blacks are upset, and they're calling to boycott all Asian.
The pro-blacks,
right? Nail salon, the Chinese restaurant, right? They want to boycott all Asian businesses.
They're goofy.
Okay,
they're trash.
This situation.
These black people who are calling for the boycotting of all Asian businesses. Their mentalities are very warped.
Where you have bad parenting, okay, and that bad parenting is primarily what led to
the pollution is crazy.
Right? That's my take on it.
The pollution,
but again,
the mental pollution is crazy. The mental programming is crazy.
Right? The nail salon, the Chinese restaurant, right? They want to boycott all Asian businesses.
For what?
Over this situation. And they're doing all types of crazy
stuff. They think they're doing
they're
something.
Chinese restaurants and they're ordering a bunch of food.
Positive, laudable.
Not to pay.
Nuts.
Right? The nail salon, the Chinese restaurant, right? They want to boycott all Asian businesses, okay, over this situation.
Collective punishment of all Asian people for what Chow did.
They're calling Chinese restaurants and they're ordering a bunch of food and they're choosing not to pay.
Terrible. Goofy.
Yo, in respect for him, we're calling Chinese places, ordering food, and not picking it up. And we ain't talking about no one order. We're running it up. Just as
F y'all. Okay? Goofy. Y'all are goofy. Y'all make the black community look terrible, trash, crappy, disgraceful, unlaudable,
a large order of
evil, wicked,
garlic fried shrimp. The garlic shrimp? Yes. Yes, of course.
This is bogus. This is bogus. The people who do this and the people who condone this are tripping. They are terrible. Thought somebody was at the door.
Yes, I know where you're located. Yes, can I get the total?
They're doing this with the intention
yes, I know where you're located.
of non-payment.
Yes,
crazy.
Okay, thank you. Yeah, I'll take my total. Nope, that'll be it. Thanks. Okay.
Yo, in respect for him, we're calling Chinese places, ordering food, and not picking it up. And we ain't talking about no one order. We're running it up. Just as
goofy.
Up, okay?
Goofy. So goofy. So childish. Immature. Pure.
A large order of sweet and sour chicken.
Emotional.
Garlic fried shrimp. The garlic shrimp? Yes. Yes, of course.
Petty. Super petty,
yes,
bro.
Get your beef and broccoli. First.
No remorse, no mercy, no.
Yes, on 24 in total.
No shame.
Nope,
it is impenitent. It is unrepentant. It is brazen.
Yes.
It is blatant. It is blatant.
Yes,
it is gratuitous. Yeah. Absolutely execrable, bro. Absolutely execrable. It is absolute. It is absolutely execrable. It is absolutely execrable.
I want 3 of them. Yes, on 24 in total.
Unbelievable.
Yes.
Abominable.
Yes, I know where you're located.
Evil.
Yes, can I get the total?
Abhorrent.
Okay, thank you.
Repulsive.
All right, y'all. So far, we can call 2 places. One of the totals is about $52. Next is $72. Let's try to get 100. Let's do bulk orders, okay? The extra big pan fried rice, 50 sweet and sour chickens.
But for camera orders, they might try to make you order.
Well, we gonna try to do it.
Let's see. This is for Cyrus.
Just what? I ain't know the man got off. That's crazy. Yeah, that's crazy. That's insane.
Pickup order?
Yes, sir. What would you like?
Can I get your catering size of sweet and sour chicken?
Let's do bulk orders, okay? The extra big pan fried rice, 50 sweet and sour chickens.
But for camera orders, they might try to make you order.
Well, we gonna try to do it.
Let's see. This is for Cyrus.
Just what? I ain't gonna be got on. That's crazy. That's crazy. That's insane. Pickup order?
Yes, sir. What would you like?
Can I get your catering size of sweet and sour chicken?
Sorry. What kind of chicken did you say?
The catering size, like enough for 8 people?
Oh, okay, the party tray.
There we go, yes.
Okay, sure.
And then
You want the fried rice or the white rice with that?
can I do both?
Yeah, sure.
I'm okay with upcharge.
We can split. We can
Okay.
white and fried rice.
Then can I get your beef and mixed vegetables party size?
Beef mixed vegetable?
Yes. Baked cow. And can you do both split rice for those as well? And that'll be it?
Sorry, what about the bacon?
Yeah, I want one of those 2 party size.
Party tray?
Yes.
You want 4 party trays altogether?
Yes, correct.
Okay.
Can I get the total and how long it'll take before I pick it up?
Yeah, just a minute. It was $219.21.
Okay, how long will it take?
Oh, 20 minutes, 25 minutes.
Okay, thank you. I'll be there shortly.
Can I have a name to put on this, please?
Cam?
Cam?
Yes, C-A-M.
Okay, phone number 2, please.
734.
The fact that none of them are asking for no card information?
Nothing to do all day. It was never even good. For you, Simon.
Because what? Yeah. I think we're doing pretty good. Well, how much we got on the
Yeah, this is crazy. This is crazy. This is crazy. This is uncalled for.
5 cans of Chinese.
Yeah, so you see that you're
Trash.
Disclaimer: I did not put those smoke detector beeping sounds in the video. I didn't do that. I just found a raw video, and apparently they live like that, right? I think that's an indicator of poverty. Okay, that you're living in poverty, that you're broke, right? That you live in the ghetto. Okay, yeah. So with that being said, stuff like this again is why black people experience what they call profiling, right? It's stereotyping. Yep. It's stuff like this, okay?
Yep.
This is why these businesses are going to start making you pay up front, right?
Yes.
You sound black on the phone.
And you
right?
won't be able to blame them if they do.
They're going to start making you pay up front.
Yep.
They're going to say, no, we're not.
And you are going to cry foul. Nah, you can't cry victim then.
You get treated the way that you get treated because of
you can't cry
like
bigotry or racism.
Stunts, right? Trying to punish people who have
collectively punishing people.
Rick Chow, what happened in South Carolina
is what they are doing.
Simply
this is
based off their race and their skin color.
This causes more nonsense.
Running around talking about we're fighting racism, right?
Please.
Yeah, about being racist, right? Is that the only way you know
you
how
don't
to
fight
racism, about being racist towards
past racism or racism from other races with more racism, with racism in response. Nah, you don't fight fire with fire or stoop down to people's levels, bro. You vibrate higher, bro.
Profiling, right?
You have to vibrate higher.
Like okay, this is why these businesses
it is easier said than done, but you have to do it to be of virtuosity, to be of rectitude.
Video, and apparently they live like that, right? I think that's an indicator. On the phone, right? You sound ghetto, okay? They're gonna start making you pay up front. They're gonna say, no, we're not making your order until you pay.
Facts.
Right? Black people experience what they call profiling.
This
right?
is why
it's stuff like this,
many people have black fatigue, including many black people.
Are gonna start making you pay up front, right? If you sound black on the phone, right? If you sound ghetto, okay? They're gonna start making you pay up front.
Yep.
They're gonna say, no, we're not making your order until you pay. Right?
Facts.
This is why you get treated the way that you get treated because of stuff like this, because of these
goofy stuff,
stunts, right? Trying to punish people who have absolutely nothing to do with Rick Chow
and
what happened in South Carolina. You're trying to punish people simply based off their race and their skin color.
This is racism. Anti-Asian racism. Anti-Asian racism. Anti-Asian racism.
Who had absolutely nothing to do with what happened in South Carolina. You're trying to punish people simply based off their race and their skin color.
Unbelievable.
But these are the same people running around talking about we're fighting racism, right? Yeah, about being racist, right?
They're so fake. They're so fugazi. They're so
these people
dishonest. Yes, they sicken me too.
Your priorities are out of line.
Yep,
right?
All the way.
Where's all this energy for innocent black folks
who
lose their lives?
Who gets guns down?
Where's all this energy?
For no good reason.
There's not any energy for that at all. And that happens way more than what we saw out in South Carolina. It is very rare for an Asian person to kill a black person. Extremely rare. But it is very, 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 very common to see black people killing other black folks. And also on top of that, being, perpetrators when you talk about violence against other races.
Asians,
right?
Caucasians.
But again, that's
they don't have the same energy for them, for the blacks, the black criminals who, who unprovokedly kill Asian people, who unprovokedly kill Caucasian people. Certain black people kill Caucasians because they are Caucasians, bro. Are Caucasian. Hate crimes, bro. Certain people kill Asians because they are Asian. Hate crime, bro. Yeah, there's no anger, there's no lividity, there's no accountability, there's no frustration, there's no denunciation. There's no criticism of the black rogues, the black monsters who unprovokedly kill Asians and Caucasians and non-blacks for different reasons, including their immutable traits, their races, the races they were born into. Yeah, there's no accountability, bro. There's no lividity, there's no fury when it comes to the black criminals, bro, because the blacks share their race, so it is okay, it is justifiable. Nah, bro. Wrong is wrong regardless of what race is doing it, bro. If you can't be consistent, if you can't apply equal accountability, if you can't apply accountability equally, if you can't apply criticism equally, then you have no integrity, you have no credibility, you have no room to be on a you can't, you have no business being on a moral high ground or claiming moral superiority. You have no business claiming, you have no business saying, you have no business pretending, or you have no business saying you are morally superior or claiming moral superiority, or you have no room to say you are on a moral high ground. Nah, bro. Nah. It is crazy. It is all the way goofy, bro. Yeah. This is really sad. Yeah. When more Asians hate the whole black community, don't cry victim, bro. Don't cry foul, because you engaged in this collective punishment stuff. It is what it is. Y'all purposely did this goofy-ish, so you have to deal with the consequences, social consequences. Not justifying unprovoked violence against people, but you have to deal with the social consequences, non-violent consequences, negative social consequences of this BS, bro.
Nothing to do with Rick Chow and what happened in South Carolina. You're trying to punish people simply based off their race and their skin color. But these are the same people running around talking about we're fighting racism, right? Yeah, by being racist, right? Is that the only way you know how to fight racism? By being racist towards other people?
Stupid.
These people make me sick. I can't stand these type of people. I can't stand them. Your priorities are out of line, right? Where's all this energy for innocent black folks who lose their lives at the hands of other black people? Where's all this energy? There's never any energy for that at all.
Woke cities, in these super blue cities.
More than what we saw.
LA, San Francisco,
it's very rare for
Chicago, New York City.
Extremely rare. But it is very, 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 very common to see black people killing other black folks, and also on top of that, being, perpetrators when you talk about violence against other races, right? But again, that's the conversation that these people don't really want to have. Okay, that's a racist conversation. And as a black person, acknowledging the truth, it just makes me a sellout, right? I'm selling out, right?
Coon, all of this stuff, race traitor, self-hater,
okay? According to
goofy stuff, bro. Vituperative labels meant to, or used as weapons to silence people, to control people, to control people's thinking. Manipulation tactics.
But again, that's a conversation that
silencing
people don't really
tactic,
want to have. Okay, that's a racist
control
conversation as a black
tactic.
person.
It is unhealthy.
But again, that's a
it
conversation
is unhealthy.
that people don't really want to have. Okay, that's a racist conversation as a black person. You know, acknowledging the truth, it just makes me a sellout, right? I'm selling out, right? The facts mean I hate my own people, right? That's what it means.
If blacks kill
according to
other races of people, bro,
you know,
the media doesn't cover the ish because it doesn't fit the narrative that blacks are always victims and they're the oppressed group of people. They're all they are.
They come from overseas. They come into the United States.
They are victims. They are incapable of committing wrongdoing because they're black. Because they're
stuff like this. You know.
Because they are of the black race. It is nonsense. It is cod swallop. It is pig swallop. It is malarkey. All of these things.
Forever, right? Since the beginning. Yeah, the reason why is because stuff like this.
It is hogwash.
You know, the low IQ
claptrap
who have their priorities all out of line, right? So that being said, they come into the United States and they're more successful. They can do more with opportunity here. You guys are behind. This is why you're at the bottom. This is why you can't get. The facts mean I hate my own people, right? That's what they mean, okay? According to these individuals.
False narratives.
You know, I'm just saying, this type of stuff is crazy. This is why most people look at black folks and they point fingers at us and they laugh, right?
Yep.
So this is why you guys are behind. This is why you're at the bottom. This is why you can't get ahead. This is why you have all these
unable to be taken seriously
they
because
come into the United States and they're more successful. They
of
can
this
do more
nonsense.
with opportunity here than black folks, even though we've been here forever, right, since the beginning. Yeah, the reason why
brutal reality.
Like this, you know, the low IQ individuals who have their priorities all out of line.
Yep.
Right. So that being said, they're even attacking the successful black folks, the black people who actually have a brain, right, who contribute positively
like this lawyer,
towards society,
this person who defended
Chow. The lawyer for Rick Chow. Okay, keep in mind, the jury also had black people in the jury.
Yes, 7 black people, 7 Caucasians, 1 Hispanic. So it wasn't all Caucasian, contrary to what delusional people of the black race pushed or peddled or sold or asserted.
A bunch of black people involved, including the defense attorney for Rick Chow being black. And now they're upset. The pro-blacks are upset with this guy doing his job as a defense attorney.
Crazy.
And defending his client.
Yeah, they're defaming him, slanging him, they're threatening him too. He received death threats. He and his family, bro. Crazy. Yo, terrible, evil, wicked, flagitious, yo. Turpitudinous. It is turpitudinous. It is evil. It is hateable, shameful. Yes. You can disagree with this lawyer. You can dislike him. You can you do have whatever feeling you wish to have pertaining to this bloke, but to threaten him and his family, to threaten his safety, to threaten his family's safety is bozo-ish. If you threaten him, threatening him makes you morally worse than him, bro. If you threaten to harm him unprovokedly, this makes you less virtuous than him, bro. If you threaten to physically harm him unprovokedly and do harm to him, and if you threaten to unprovokedly do harm to him and his family, this makes you morally worse and less virtuous than him. If you threaten to physically harm him and his family unprovokedly, this makes you morally worse and less virtuous than him, bro. This doesn't make you better morally. This doesn't make you some good person, laudable, positive person who's fighting for justice, for... Nah. This makes you a monster, scum, filth. This makes you muck. This makes you an SOB, a POS. That is what this threatening stuff makes you.